There we go. I was on mute. We are now live on Bringing the Blues on our match preview for this weekend for Nottingham Forest. I'm joined today by Luke. You may obviously know him as SCitizen284 on Twitter. He's part of the Not in My Lifetime pod. He's a regular on this channel, which I'm very, we're very lucky and very happy to have Luke on. He's really, supported me and supported the channel really from day one. So yeah, massive shout out to Luke, mate. Thank you so much for coming on again. For those of you that are joining, maybe it's your your first time viewing the channel, but please do like and subscribe. It obviously really helps the channel, and the aim is to try and get as many Blues involved as possible. That's the aim here. So we'll jump straight in, mate. I saw your tweets literally 5 minutes before we went live, really, just in regards to the strike from a couple of members of, I think it was the City Matters group. We've been talking about tickets for the last, personally for me, for a long time now, but it's really ramped up obviously in the last few months, especially the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I was involved with the pod Not in My Lifetime, and again we kind of touched on that, and it was spoke about yesterday when you were live as well. So just give me I think I know what your thoughts are, but just give me your initial reaction, I suppose, to those two the two guys from City Matters group, first of all, going on strike, and what you think it means.
Well, to me, mate, it shows the club don't care at all. And the reality is that the fans are not being given any kind of respect at all about it right now at all. Like, look at what Liverpool and West Ham have done. They've frozen prices. Now, is it going to mean that they're in the good books? No, but it's a positive PR spin for them. And look, in a way, I'd rather have that for them, because at least that way you keep the prices the same and also keeps the fans on side. But the club just aren't listening to us at all. And the club need to realise, right, that without the core fan base in the club, you would not get the atmosphere you've had in the big games in the past few years. The very games that they big up and talk about for years to come, that we will talk about for years to come, you won't get that with tourists. And people think that you're being racist, say that. No, fans from around the world are fans going to the games and will sing the songs. It is the people that are day trippers that are the ones that aren't there. The Haaland, that penalty against Madrid, the state of that home end, that corner, that should be full of fans going crazy at 2-1. Not fans just staring, clapping, holding a camera up.
I've never understood. I remember most people remember the City Aston Villa game. Obviously when we were down. The famous moment where De Bruyne literally laced up his boots and dragged us up to another Prem. But for that game, the club decided that actually we're going to swap. We're going to swap where we start attacking. So in the and it worked. I've never understood why we don't finish the game attacking towards towards like the 1894 group. It baffles me. I'm biased because I sit there, but that's where the atmosphere is. Near where the away fans are, around that bend, around that corner, that's where all the away fans. That's where the main atmosphere is. Because again, you're going up with the away fans. We had it a couple of weeks ago where we're having a laugh with the South Stand. South Stand give us a song. Is this a library? All that good stuff. Because that's where the atmosphere is. But we spoke about this just prior to jumping on. It doesn't make you a racist to say that we don't want the stadium full of tourists. I've had people on here. A good mate of mine, Tabo. Shout out Tabo. He comes from Birmingham. I think he's originally from Africa. His family are originally African. He now lives in he moved over to the UK, lives in Birmingham. He's one of the most hardcore fans I know, probably more than me, because every home game he travels down from Birmingham and he does it midweek for the Champions League games. So I don't know how anyone can turn around and say, oh, he's that's not a proper fan. That is a proper fan. That's a proper fan. Someone who comes down and supports the club and isn't just there for the day. But what do you think? What do we need to do? Because there's only so much me and you can do. We have these discussions, and that's great. But in terms of forcing the club's hand, or at least getting the club to address it, because the most we've had is the rubbish that they put out saying, oh, we're going to put a date in, and then again no one's heard anything.
I'm going to be real with you, mate. Now, I have retweeted and quote tweeted a thing that Mancunian Way put out. A lot of fans have tagged in it about doing that. The 894 did like a little thing to fill out to give to the club.
Yeah.
For me personally, now I know Big C said to you about protests and what happened. The only way you're going to get to these executives is a protest. Because the protest is bad PR, and bad PR is something that they don't want to have to deal with. The problem is with these forms, look at these forms that they filled out. Oh, okay, cool, whatever, put it aside. They won't care. I'm sorry, but that sounds harsh, that's horrible, and you don't want to do that. But if you want change at the club, you've got to start putting the protest really on them. Put the heat up and force it. Because at the end of the day, right, the club have treated us like crap now for the past couple of years. Since the treble season, it's been really, really bad. Like the selling of tickets. Now, I know they've banned certain accounts now, but why are you doing it? All of a sudden, doing it now? Oh, because you know why? You were caught out by it. You were caught out, and the media were on you, and you have to act there and then. The fans have got to realise that if you want the club to get back to a position where the fans are respected, you've got to put the pressure on them. And make them realise that without the core fan base, you will not get all this incredible stuff that they're trying to build. I'm sorry, right? This hotel and this blue wall bullshit, which I'm sorry, right? Blue wall. Are you kidding me? If you want a blue wall, make all the seats in there season ticket holders. Because I tell you right now, that wall will be bouncing if it's for season ticket holders. Or even membership people, the actual fans that go to the games. That also needs to be another thing as well. Memberships need to be from City fans. It needs to be restricted to being a City thing. It needs to be kept that way, so people can't just go on there and buy membership outright. It needs to be a certain amount of time. Let's say you've been to a certain amount of games without membership.
Yeah.
Maybe that, or some way where it's going to be safer and you haven't got rival fans in the home end. Because why the hell are they in the home end?
Yeah,
should be City fans in there.
Yeah, 100%. I know loads.
This
of
is what the
can't get a ticket and want to come.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, look, I'm going to go to Wolves at home at some point in May probably. I mean, I'll try to go to another one, but it's time because of a lot of money and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, right? If we want actual change, you're going to have to protesting the way you're going to do it. Now, hopefully, this actually does work. What they're doing with this questionnaire thing, but I'll tell you right now, you're probably doing anything at all, because I said before, and look, I know Steve said to you as well, and commented to you as well, and if Michelle don't want to talk about it, a protest the only way you're ever going to see any kind of change. It sounds sad I've got to say this, but in this current day and age, PR is a massive thing for these kind of owners.
Yeah.
They need to have bad PR for it to be change. And for me, that's the only way you will ever get changed right now, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I think... I completely agree. I think the time for talking, I know it's a bit cliche, isn't it? But the time for talking is well, they had the chance to talk. It's ridiculous. It's a farce that the fan base are seeing these. Seeing the City Matters group coming out and putting open letters out to the owners. I was maybe I was naive, to be honest with you. Probably was, but I was expecting. I was really hoping that there would have been an announcement within 48 hours off the back of that open letter. I thought that's it's pretty big for the fan base to come together. The fan groups to come together, do it in the right way, because that's the right way to do it. Getting those open letters together, getting it out there, and I thought I thought Caldoon would probably come out and say something that we're going to look at, bear with us, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, but nothing came of that. And then it came out, oh, we're going to put a date in, but then there was no date. And I said to you prior to jumping on, I think the timing of that, the blue wall, it's just PR nonsense. It's just a PR play, blue wall, because it sounds good, sounds great to the rest of the league and rival fans and all that stuff. But the thing is, they put a rod on their own back because, that's a verbal contract. It's a promise. You want a blue wall. There's only one type of fan, really, realistically, that's going to turn it into that. That blue wall. When they said blue wall, they want us to think of Dortmund's yellow wall. But the difference is Dortmund's yellow wall is full of Dortmund fans, hardcore Dortmund fans. So, and we need the tourism. There's a balance, isn't there? I think there's a healthy balance here as well. Don't get me wrong, right? Every big club, they're gonna want tourists, and I get that. And to be fair, you spot a tourist. I know a tourist because they've been to the club shop, bought a load of gear, probably to take back home with them, which is fantastic. But there's got to be a healthy balance. There has to be that core, hardcore fan base that's bringing the atmosphere, or you get the Real Madrid game that we had this season where the club are just made a laughing stock. Clips are going viral, and it's lads like me and you and the people that go to the games or people that watch the games. We have to go and work. I have to go and work, and it's all we're mouthpieces for the club. So I always answer on for the club. Go on.
The chat. Big up Ride Jack and also big up Alf as well. I was just on Alf's channel with another City guy before you went on your show just now. So if you haven't already, guys, go subscribe to them two guys. Also good City fans as well. They're good content as well. But get back to the point you were saying. Yeah, I mean, and I've said it before on other shows as well, including my own, including on this one as well. Unfortunately, as I said, you won't see much change with all this. I know the 1894. I'd probably try not to do a protest.
Yeah,
they'd probably try, and I get it, but I guess for me personally, right, it would not surprise me if by the end of the season the fans have enough.
Yeah,
because I'm gonna say it right. There's only so much longer fans can do before hit breaking point. Yeah. It's gonna happen, and I just feel like that. The longer that you try and play the piece, the longer it's going to lead to snapping and saying, that's it, that's enough, and they'll go for it. It sounds like you're really, really harsh, but as fans, you see, you're going to think so much shit.
Yeah.
Eventually, you say, hold a minute, yes, you're owners of this club, but the club will always be here after you and before you.
100%. 100%. I said this on, I think it was the Not in My Lifetime channel, your channel. Not just your channel, but one of four. They're there to oversee the club whilst they own it. Okay, the real owners of Manchester City are the fans. We own the club. We hold the club up. Maybe not on a piece of paper, maybe not legally, but at the end of the day, we're the ones that are going week in, week out. Supporting the club, buying Oasis kits that they drop, each year, 4 or 5 kits each year. It feels like at the minute the fans are just becoming figures, just becoming numbers, and this club has always been a community and a family-led club, always has been. Prior to Khaldoon taking over and prior to Thaxkin taking over, it was always a family-run club. City in the community, absolutely massive. And don't get me wrong, we're still doing a lot of the charity work and a lot of the community work. So I think, there's really good aspects to shout about, but it's just a shame that we're constantly talking about the ticketing and the structure. Not allowing any more season tickets. It's just crazy. For what, an extra couple million quid a year? It's nothing.
Yeah.
Just quickly. Sorry, mate. I just want to shout out again. I know you did, but Rajak and Alf. Big up to you both. If you've not already subscribed to their channel, obviously please go over and do so. I've been chatting to Rajak last few days. Good lad, and we'll hopefully get both of these lads on the stream at some point. It's a little bit more difficult for Rai because he's states based, but I will make it work and hopefully get both of these guys on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Say it's community. We're all helping each other out, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what we're there for. But the thing is, right, and big up Alex Howell. I think Alex is part of City Matters. Obviously, that's why we'll bring up as well.
yeah,
He said that we still haven't had a date for the meeting of season tickets. Yes, they haven't had a meeting yet. It's now March.
yeah,
Now, bear in mind, renewal will start soon, as far as I'm aware.
yeah,
So, why are the club taking ages to do a meeting renewal? Like you can say, oh, but it could be the 115. Now I've heard of the 115 apparently, but we're good on that front apparently. Which
yeah,
look, I heard anyway. But it isn't the point. Why are the club not doing this? And this is what I said about a protest. The longer you do this and play the fans around like a fiddle, someone's going to snap.
yeah,
And then the peace, everyone together, it's going to lead to even more fights. Unfortunately, I said some fans won't take this shit any longer,
no,
and I don't blame them. Now, do I want to be a protest? No, but if the club are not willing to talk, then I'm sorry, you've got to target them at their PR and their wallet. Because that's the only way they're going to listen. That's the only way that the media are going to listen to it. That's the only way that they're actually going to make changes.
yeah. No, 100%. I agree. Um, I wasn't aware. Like I said, I only saw the tweet literally a few minutes before coming on, so I didn't. I've not had time to memorize the names, but for me, this season is a fantastic season for us just to get everything out there, get it out in the open between the fan base and the club. The 115 hopefully will be. It sounds like it'll be dealt with. Will be dealt with this season. That's fantastic. It's a stopgap season. A lot of players are going to be going out. Some players are going to be coming in. We're obviously fighting for top four, but in terms of getting our eggs, all our eggs in one basket, this is a season to do it now. Nobody wants these issues going into next season. I think there's a lot of optimism, and rightfully so. I think there's a lot of optimism going into next season because of the impact of players like Kushinov and hopefully Marmoush. He's gone quiet recently, but there's a lot of good coming. Over the last couple of weeks, the football's getting there and it's getting better. So I think for me, I just want all of this stuff dealt with. Just deal with it now in this season. Even if, and God forbid, but even if we're found guilty, I just want it to be over with. To be honest with you now.
Yeah.
I am sick to death of talking about 115, I honestly become a lawyer in my part-time because you're just constantly defending the club, and I'll do it till I'm blue in the face, but at some point it would be nice just to talk about the football. Let's just get back to talking about the football.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want. Like, look, get 115 done. A ticketed thing. Look, I said just now, we'll go on to Forest. Look, that I said to you before how that will go, and it wouldn't surprise me if it goes down that route of protesting. I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't. But it, I clip me now. This year, maybe not now, but I reckon at some point this year or even towards next year, you will see a protest outside.
Yeah, I agree. But it has to be this season for me. Has to be this season. So we will. This is supposed to be a match preview for the Forest game. So we will move. We will move over to that. Just thought it was. It needed to be said. It's obviously just come out in the kind of the last 15, 20 minutes or however long it's been. But let's just we'll move on to Forest. First of all, Luke, how are you feeling? Obviously, we've managed to string 2 wins together on the bounce for the first time in. God, it feels like a lifetime. Yeah,
But look, this season's been a nightmare. It's been like from the start it was good. Then Wolves, Southampton, we got over the line, crawling over, hobbling over the line, and we all knew from there, here it comes, and then sucker punch, and then a beat down by everyone else. It's been coming all season, sadly, but I think for me now, I said this in the previous stream before I came on here. I set the challenge to the players now. End the season unbeaten. FA Cup possible if you get the win there. League top 3, top 2. Just end the season strong. going to the World Cup in good form, and after that, going to the season after that, ready to go again. I think the reality is, right, Forest will be a hard game, but Forest at the back aren't very good right now. So we've got a chance of getting a result tomorrow, but we've got to make sure that ourselves stop making so mistakes.
Well,
So
it's
I mean,
funny you say
because
that because their
injuries.
form's really go on, mate. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. No, I was just saying their form.
No, I mean,
there might be a delay between us. Go on.
But delay, I think. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. All that kind of stuff. It's been an absolute nightmare this season, and I just feel like at the moment it's not really not a lot will change, but what I want to see is a consistent team.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we're starting to see now the starting 11. I mean, obviously Rodri's out; he's always going to come back in. But I think last few games we've started to see a group of players that are building up form together. And the good thing is, I mean, the great thing is for the players, they'll take a lot of stock because at the end back in December we played them and we beat them 3-0. And they were flying at that point, and we weren't great, and that was another game where I thought, oh, City we're back, and obviously if only I knew we were not back at that point. I think Luke, I think your camera might have dropped off, mate. There you go, you're back. You're back. We love a technical difficulty. But no, I think a lot of the lads will be going into this game, and rightfully so, thinking, do you know what, we've got a good bit of form back, and actually we've already beaten these lot when they were flying. So there's no excuse, there's no reason why we can't go, go to the City ground tomorrow, and you'll get the 3 points. And when I say City ground, that is actually the name of their stadium. So I'm not getting it confused before anyone picks me up on it.
Yeah, I think also as well, right? Big ups as well to Fernandinho as well. Obviously being, I mean, that is huge news because I think for me, someone like him coming in end of the season into a new season where we need to start pushing on and have a bit of mentality in that team. It's huge. Yeah. It's massive, and I just think, I think looking at the current coaching staff, I think there's been issues there as well. Not enough pressure on Pep to change things up. Yeah. Not enough, questioning them. Whereas Arteta did it, as I said, Maresca. We've got to have some more pressure now on that. I think Fernando will do that perfectly. I think we'll see a real change next year. I reckon we'll see a real change in City going forward. I think I'm excited for the future, definitely. Especially Echeverry. I think tomorrow's all about 3 points tomorrow and getting the result. But I'm very excited for what's to come, though. That's for sure.
100%. No, that Echeverry looks like some player, doesn't he? I know LB has been he's been raring for him to come and play. He's been waiting for him to come for months now, hasn't he? But he won't play tomorrow. It'll be. I hope he does get some game time. I think he will get some game time this season, maybe towards the back end of the season. I think it's important. Just he's not. He's coming to. I think if he'd have joined maybe a month prior, or a month and a half prior, he probably would have been thrown in there a little bit like some of these lads have been. Because again, some of these lads like Kushinov, he wouldn't have started against Chelsea. But he had to start against Chelsea. So, I think Echeverry's come in where the form's picked up a little bit, and actually Pep can ease him in. He's not being forced in and thrown into these big games. And this Forest game is a massive game because again, both going for top four. Who'd have thought you'd say that, eh? City and Nottingham Forest both going for a top four finish. It's a crazy.
Yeah, I know. Madness.
Ryjack, begging for the Echeverry debut ASAP. I don't think we'll get it. I could be wrong, but he's not going to start. He won't start tomorrow.
To be fair, mate, from what I've heard from behind the scenes, he's impressing a lot everyone, the club, including Pep. it wouldn't surprise me if Pep says, you know what, I'll give him a go.
Well,
Because
yeah, Messi, Alf
Watching
Messi,
Messi, yeah,
Messi.
right, yeah. Well, honestly, well, I said to Alf as well. Like, I want to see him get a chance because the reality is, right, he's an exciting player that has a lot of has something different to a lot of the players we've got in the squad. Foden's been pretty poor this season. Let's be real here. Echeverry for me can give him a real kick up the arse. He needs it. He needs pressure because look, Florian Wirtz for me, like look, obviously everyone wants him. I get it,
Yeah,
but if for me, it's not the be all end all
no,
because Echeverry's right there. He's the future of football, the future right there. You've got to give him a chance. I'm all for saying screw it. Exactly. Get a chance in midfield, not on the wing, not some inverted bullshit winger job. Put him in the midfield, in the 10, behind Haaland, and let's see what he can do. That's what I want to see. None of this experimentation bollocks, Pep.
Pep will play him on the wing. He'll put him on the wing.
Oh, not no. Just don't want to see that
He'll put
anymore,
it.
man.
Tell you what, he'll put him on the wing and Jack. He'll put Jack. He'll put Jack through the middle. That's what he'll do.
Against the wall.
Call. And Jack will drop a disaster. It'll be a disaster class, and then Pep will come out and call him a warrior.
I just want to see him in the 10, man. Like we've got Marmouche, we got Kev, we've got Foden, we got Echeverry. Give these guys a chance, man.
Yeah,
give them a chance.
100%. And I think if the players are hungry and they're showing it in training, I think that's one of the issues. The big issues this season is certain players have played off the back of previous seasons, and I get it to a degree. I get it, and I agree with Pep. Some of the things that Pep said is these players, they've gone to war for me, they've won trebles, etc. Fantastic, but there has to be that ruthless streak, and Pep's got it in him because people forget, but this is the same manager that went into Barcelona and turfed out, was it Ronaldinho, turfed out it was Ronaldinho and
Deco.
Yeah.
Esso as well.
Yeah. You look at those players, and I know back then a lot of the Barca fans were going crazy. You look at those players, you think, how can you get rid of them? But then they went on to dominate. That's what we need. We need a Pep who has got that little bit of ruthlessness back in him because, I feel like I talk about Gundogan every week, and I love him to bits. Honestly, I do. But I don't want to see him back in the squad unless we're 4-0 up with 10 minutes to play. I don't want to see him starting because it's like putting a sheep to slaughter when he starts. It's just not. He's not there. The legs have gone.
He ain't the same player anymore. He ain't the same player anymore, man. He's not. And look, Gundogan should have left it in 2023. That was the last season for me. That was it. It was the right time to go. I think not getting someone in to replace him was a stupid mistake from the club in the first place. Carver and Nunes will not let to replace him, and I think it was clear the club went for Jude, and as soon as Jude was done, that was it. They panicked because they thought that Bellingham would go to us because of Haaland, but he wants to go Real Madrid. Fair enough. Rice was also there. Rice is a good player. Great for us. Didn't decide not to get him. The club needs to be more proactive and need to realise that some people like Wirtz might not want to join. They don't want to join. Fair enough. On to the next player. Stop dilly-dallying about, faffing about on who should come in. It should be all about who wants to be here.
I still see a future for McAtee, and I know I'm one of the few now. A lot of people are asking, cashing in on McAtee, aren't they? And the whole swapping him for certain players. But I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, or I don't know. I mean, I don't know the lad. I've got no ties to him or anything like that. But I see a player there. Honestly, I do. Every time he comes on, he contributes, whether it's a goal or an assist. For me, it's just the game time that he's not getting. But I think there's a player there. There's been a player there the whole season, but for whatever reason, he just doesn't get played. He doesn't get the minutes. He's starting to get them a little bit more now, but this should have been his season. And from my point of view, I mean, I don't see what he's like in training, but that's got to go down to Pep, because there have been games where we've been absolutely smashed through the midfield. You've had Gundogan and Kovacic starting. You look at those games, you think, no, McAtee has to start over Gundogan every especially going forward. But I think he's got a future. What camp do you sit in? Is he a sell, or would you want to keep?
I'll be perfectly real with you, mate. I think we need to sell because if Pep's not going to play him, then why is he
Yeah,
here? Because he's 22, 23, and he's playing week in, week out. If he was like 32, 33, I wouldn't care at all. But
yeah,
someone like him should be playing week in, week out. And we're being real to ourselves and being realistic and whatever. He ain't getting that here.
yeah,
He won't be a player here, sadly. And I think for me, the boat has sailed at Sheffield United on loan. He should be given the chance back at 18, 19 years old. Not now. It's too late now. He should be given that chance, like Foden did, like Palmer did, back when they were 19, 18 years old, young enough to get in the team and get given game time, over time brought into the team. And the problem is, McAtee was left out in the wilderness for 2 years and then brought back. Oh, now I'll give you a chance now. Why now? What's the point? I don't
yeah.
understand that thing from Pep. I really don't get that from Pep at all.
I feel for him. I'm not going to keep banging on about it the whole stream. Don't worry, but I feel for him. Honestly, I do. I don't really know what more he could have done this season. Like I said, every time he plays, he makes things happen. But yeah, if he's not going to play, he has to go. It's just a shame because I think we can all see what's going to happen there. He'll move on to another club, a little bit like Palmer, and he'll hit the ground running, and he'll turn out to be a very, very, very good player at the minimum. And again, it's just I pull my hair out because I feel like I can see it now. We can see it now. But it's just like why can we not utilize that? Why can't we integrate him into the team? But anyway, Alf, he should be playing more, to be honest. I think he'll be out, unfortunately. When Bob comes back, it'll be worse for McAtee. Yeah, especially if Echeverry hits the ground running.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, Alf. Exactly, mate.
All depends how
It just feels like there's better players now. And also, there's better players now, younger players. I wouldn't say Echeverry's better than McAtee, but Echeverry, I think, is a way higher ceiling than McAtee does, and probably will be a better player than him in the long run. I think when you look at the players we've got already, I just think, where's he going to play? Where's it going to come from the game time? Like, even when he's played games in the FA Cup, mate, he was poor at Plymouth. He was poor. So he's got to start taking his chances when he gets them. But I don't think that'll be here. I think that'll be another Premier League club, or I think something like Palace, something like that, or something like that, or Bournemouth. What was it? Bournemouth now. Bournemouth and that are probably going to have him now. But Brentford, maybe Palace, something like that, someone who can actually use him properly and get him properly playing. Week in, week out.
I'm just we'll finish on McAtee on this here. Right, Jack has put in here. I don't see it for Macca, Prem player, but not Champions League level. I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
I'll say this with chest. That lad will be playing in the Champions League in the next 2 to 3 seasons, and he'll be performing well. I promise you. That's my take. I think there's a player there. I really do. But we'll see. We'll come back. I'll set an alarm. We'll come back 2-3 years, and he'll probably be playing for Wrexham or something and make me look like an idiot. But I doubt it. So moving on, we'll talk about the.
He's a good player. So he's a good player overall, but not good enough for us. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're just sad, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I want to talk about the team. We've talked a lot about starting 11s. It's difficult even now to really know what our strongest is. But Luke, what would your starting 11 be for tomorrow?
Oh, I discussed this on Ocean as well. I think for me at the moment, this is what I'd go for a season if I could. I'd go for Edison in goal, Rico right back, Hushinov, Diaz, Gvardiol. That's about 4. Obviously, no Akanji, Stones or Ake for the rest of the season probably. Maybe Ake. Maybe if we're lucky, depending on who gets back earlier than that. But we're being real. Probably what we've got there. Nico, Kovacic, Marmoush playing in the 10 position. Doku's video on the wings and holding up front. I think for me with Foden, he needs to be dropped for a bit. He has to be. He has to earn it back. His place. He can't be given it for the sake of it, unfortunately.
Okay, interesting. Okay, the lads in the chat. I'd like to hear yours as well. So get him in. I want to see the starting 11s. Maybe we'll all have different starting 11s. I think for me, yeah, I mean, Eddie in net. Rico's always. I love Rico to bits. I do, and I felt for him this season because he's come under a lot of flack. But yeah, I'd start him at right back. I think the only issue and the question with Rico is, can you start him at right back against some of the better teams? And I know Forest have obviously been great. They've been fantastic this year, and I don't mean any disrespect, but what I mean is I'm talking about your big hitters like Arsenal and Real Madrid. Your Champions League level teams. I think there's still question marks there, to be honest with you. But against Forest, he can start, so we'll put him there. Kushinov obviously just won Player of the Month, and I believe he got the most votes. I can't believe that. When I heard that, I thought, surely not. And I don't mean that in any disrespect, by the way, because I think he's been fantastic. But
Uzbekistan FC, man.
He's got to be, hasn't he? He's had the whole country jumping in there, and he putting votes in. Crazy guy.
Brilliant.
I mean, we've had Aguero. We've had players like Aguero, Tevez, David Silva. And again, no disrespect, but when I saw that, I thought, how has that happened? So Nathaniel in the chat, yes, the Mason, you lizard. Cheers, mate. Rico Lewis is starting 100%. Yeah, I think he will start. We'll put him in anyway. Kushinov's our most informed defender at the moment, so obviously he's got to start. Diaz, obviously, again. Gvardiol, the world's greatest left back. He's not even a left back. That's how ridiculous that is. He's a centre back playing left back, and he's arguably the best left back in the world. Maybe not, but he is on this channel.
Yeah. Well, could be.
Yeah. Gonzalez, an interesting one. I think he's obviously still adapting. Coming from that like La Masia background, obviously there's a big difference in the physicality when a player, when anyone joins the Prem. To be honest with you, I think he's struggling with the physicality a little bit, but it will come. So, yeah, I think Nico would have to start as well. Who would I put alongside?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Kovacic for me has had a good season. I think again he's received a lot of stick, Kovacic, this season. But again, if you look at in the games where maybe he's not performed as well, I think you can look at other players that have been around him that have actually dropped the ball, and he's obviously had to pick up the slack. And he's not that player. He's not a Rodri at the end of the day. So get Kovacic in there as well.
Yeah. The Marmoush probably.
Yeah, Marmoush. Well, yeah, he's got to start. He's got to start Marmoush, hasn't he? He's not going to start. Can you imagine if he did though?
I think for me, mate, at the moment, right? I think De Bruyne. I'm not saying De Bruyne's out either. He's definitely in that squad as well. But I think for me, Echeverri needs to be like sort of brought through over time. I think I said I think it's all about bringing him off the bench.
Yeah.
Off the bench, here and there, and then next season, right, let's go for it. Start some games. Because I think Echeverri for me is the future of this team. He is.
Yeah.
I mean, he will be. So I want to see him get a chance.
No, I agree. Like I said, I said whenever I said it, at some point in this stream, I think he's going to be one of those players. He's coming at a good time, and he can be slowly introduced into the team. A little bit like I'm going to butcher his name. I'm not bothered. I'm from Stockport. I'm not Brazilian, but Vitor Reyes. I don't know. You know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah. Vitor Reyes. Yeah.
Reyes. Yeah, that's the one. He's a player that is again. He's obviously he's had a couple of appearances. Obviously in the FA Cup, he's looked really solid. To be fair to him, but the gel. He's being bred in. He's being gelled in because you can. Some players you can look at, and he was one of the signings that I looked at and thought he needs a bit of muscle on him. He needs to build a bit of a frame because the lad is literally stick thin. Nathaniel should use De Bruyne like Madrid. Use Modric. Can still make an impact in set games. I agree with that, and I've said that. I've had arguments on Twitter with other fans about this. He's not a player now. He cannot start games. He should be coming on in the last 30 minutes of a game.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, because he hasn't got the legs anymore to do it long term anyway. I think the ability is still there.
Yeah.
It is still there. Like that hasn't just gone overnight, but the legs have gone. If this was a league that didn't require a lot of legs, no one would care at all. He'd still be here probably for another 5 years, probably. But in Serie A, he'd be brilliant Serie A. But in Premier League, you need legs as well as ability.
Yeah.
And sadly, the one thing that he had in abundance a couple of years ago, which is gone now, sadly, which is a shame.
Yeah. No, I agree though, 100%. Let's bring him on as an impact sub. I'll give him some cocaine. He'll be fine on the pitch for legal reasons. That's a joke. You know what, mate? Back in the 80s, probably were doing that, weren't they?
Joe Waterright, imagine that. Imagine him on now. Like he'd be fucking like 8 goals and like 10 assists in one game.
It'd be mental. Imagine Haaland on that stuff. It'd be an absolute monster, wouldn't he? He gets sent off though. He'd end up butting someone.
30 goals in one game. He's bagging them
in. Doku and Savinho. I have been on the Doku train since that lad joined, right? And I tell you now, all the lads that were on that train with me, and there wasn't many. There was a lot of the fan base that didn't like Doku, didn't have an end product, all that kind of stuff. Listen, for those of you that were on the train with me, we're eating well now because he's starting to add that end product to his game. He's starting to add, real big goals. He's getting the assists. I have said it game after game. The problem is players don't make the runs. He puts those balls in. He puts some quality balls in, but the players don't make the runs, especially when Haaland isn't playing. When Haaland's not playing, it's really apparent. But Doku and Savinho, but Doku, the last few games for me, wow, he's just completely different player.
Yeah, 100%. He's unbelievable right now. I think if he gets the final ball sorted out and the shot sorted out, trust me, man, him and Savinho are the best winning pairing in the league.
Yeah,
by far.
Yeah, and the scary thing is with Savinho, he's still quite raw. So there's going to be a lot of refinement that goes over, this season, back end of this season. But I tell you what, next season when that lad is a bit more polished, him and Doku, honestly, that is the most lethal pairing currently in the Premier League, and it will be one of the most lethal pairings in world football in a season or two. Rajat97,
100%.
I'm the opposite on Doku, not a fan. You're not coming on the channel now, mate. You've just took yourself out of it, so well done. We're all Doku in on this one, mate. No, I'm only kidding. No, that's fair enough. I get it. I can see where people come from. But for me, from my point of view, I just don't know how you can watch a player like Jack Grealish on the wing and then look at a player like Doku and not see the difference in quality.
Yeah, exactly. I agree on that one.
But no, listen, fair enough. That's fine.
Yeah. I think, look, I get it. It's been with Doku's injuries as far as being ability. I think if Doku could show that consistency of goals and assists every game or most games, people are like, "Yo, what? Sold." The issue is he started brilliantly, then had a bit of a drop, and it's been up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. He needs to be consistent.
Yeah.
And whereas Jack,
no, Jack's got to go.
Not the drinking part. That he can do what he wants on that front.
Yeah.
But on the pitch, not good enough.
Yeah, I'm the same. I couldn't care less. The nonsense about following him around, taking pictures. I mean, look, if he's, what lad his age, and take the wage out of it because it doesn't matter. I mean, look, I'm going to the pub after this. I'm going out to the pub because I've had a long week at work and it's a Friday night. Why can't he do the same? Even if he's not playing, he's still. We're all human. Yeah, we can all enjoy life for us, for what it is, and he does that, and that's fair enough. As long as he's not doing it the night before a game, I couldn't really care less. If he's doing it once every couple of weeks, once every 3 weeks, fine, fair enough. The problem that Jack's got is he's like Pep said, he's an easy target, and he does come out of some of these places in a bit of a state. So I suppose that's the only thing I'd say is just be mindful. You know what's going to be waiting outside for you. You're going to have loads of paparazzi. Well, it's not an excuse, but we'll start wrapping up. We'll start wrapping up shortly, guys. We'll just finish on. We'll go on score prediction. So again, whack him in the chat as well. Luke, I'm going to start with you, mate. What's your score prediction for tomorrow?
Well, I went 2-1 Arsenal, and I remain 2-1 now. I think it's going to be a scrappy game tomorrow. I think it won't be easy. I think we can get goals. I think I've got to see the goals going in and see us doing it consistently before I start backing 3 or 4 goals in a game. But 2-1, 3 points is all I want right now. 3 points on the board, above Forest in the third. I'm taking 100%. So for me, 2-1. 2-1.
Okay. Fair enough. You've gone quite conservative there. I can see why after from this season. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna copy Nathaniel there, and I did have this in my head prior, but I do think 3-1. It's difficult and it's a bit of a shame. And just being honest, I'm trying to be positive as well, but it's difficult to give us clean sheets at the minute. There is a mistake in us. We do see we can't shake that for whatever reason. So I think they will score. But I think 3-1. I think they're going to have a really tough time with players like Doku, Haaland. This is just a Haaland game for me, isn't it? It's that game where it's going to be nice and physical. He can get involved, but I think the levels the levels will show. A lot of reptile chat in the reptile talk in the chat tonight. Big Alf the reptile. Just before we wrap up, guys, thank you so much for getting involved and putting putting your comments in. Love to see that. That's what this channel is about. Please try and share it far and wide, because again, that's the purpose of this channel, to try and get Blues on. Nathaniel, I actually know Nathan personally. I've known him for a long time. You'll have to come on the channel, mate. You've been a big Blue for years, going to the game, so we'll get you on, mate. I know you've probably got a lot to say. Alf, be great to have you on the channel as well, and Ride Jack, we'll work something out at some point, and we'll all get on. We'll have a great time. We'll have a great time, but the lizard men are invading the City fan base. It's a serious threat.
Love it.
Well, do you know what, guys?
Love it. All over the blue wall. All over the blue wall.
Lizards lizards everywhere in that blue wall. Lizards FC.
It sounds so Game of Thrones, isn't it? The blue wall. The North remembers. Like, what is this? What we're doing now? Game of Thrones now.
Yeah, it'll be considerably less epic than that. Don't worry. Yeah, I won't hold your breath on that.
Yeah, nowhere near as good. Yeah, nowhere near as good.
We'll sign out, everyone. Thank you for joining. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back next week. I'll be back next week for the match reaction. Hopefully, we batter him. Come on, the boys.